Okay, I'm trying to choose my words very carefully, and I'm trying to show appreciation for everybody giving me the support they have. First off, what happened yesterday was a scam. I have not had access to the mailbox here for 2 months. The fellow who was put in the bin, he had real bad disassociative problems, and one was getting mail. When I had to prove that I was here and have mail, I was unable to do that because the voided paper checks for my direct deposit for the work I do were removed from the mailbox by either this guy's mother or his stepfather or his biological father, who's a raving alcoholic, has been driving me around looking for a place. Yesterday, when we went to the leasing office for an apartment, he used the bathroom and he urinated with the door open in the office. That was real fun. So what is happening here is a flim-flam, a underhanded way of throwing someone out and removing their ability to prove their situation economically, and by destroying my ability to prove that I've been living here. It seemed to me that my legal rights, clause in the Bill of Rights and the Constitution for conspiracy. Now, when you molest the mail system proof of residence, I believe that is a couple of crimes. Going to pursue legal. Kitty. Man, I hate this. I sure would like to just have a camera, you know? So his father came back this morning wearing a muzzle and says he had a test. Now he's gone to Rockledge to get a shot. The plot sickens. Hey, Crafty Cat. I've been talking just for public record, so I don't want to waste any time. So if you want to roll back the video and understand the situation, they've been conspiring to throw me out of here when I've had proof of residence here. Didn't get any receipts for the rent, but I don't think that would have mattered because, I mean, that would have mattered, actually, yesterday. So when I couldn't move into a place yesterday, Mr. Biological father of the guy who got thrown in the bin was drinking all day. Today he's already started. He's going to go and get mRNA injection, and he's going to shed. So my body's going to be on full immunity ballistic defense. Boy, would I really like to have a tall glass of orange juice right now, or some real good nutritious food to help my body's natural immunity. But this guy, fascinating. I don't know if the phone picked that up, but my notification for texts is Spock saying fascinating. So that's what that was. I don't understand how that works, but if you want to do that, that's fine. I've just learned that there's a conspiracy against rights here being committed by the parents of this guy who's been thrown. The reason why this guy is so screwed up is evident here. Well, I'm on my phone and I can't. I'm really just trying to make a. I might make this unlisted, but I don't. I'm just trying to document this stuff because I'm trying to save the space on my phone for when I'm in a crucial point. I just need to. I need to regroup my thoughts. I mean, there's a couple live streams that I'm missing right now because I have to do this, and I don't want to. I don't want to take viewers from anybody else. You know, I'm not trying to sensationalize the situation, but I could really use a pro bono attorney right now. I've made some calls. Thank you so much, Raven. I liked your video. That was really interesting. So I don't know if this phone is going to prop up or not, or it's going to fall down. See, that doesn't look good. Well, my situation is, see, you know, when you get direct deposit, you receive check statements, voided check statements in the mail to your address. My bank is supposed to send me voided statements. I don't have an email statement sent to me. Documentation of the address on the check of my residence would be there. Okay, there's three parties in this situation. There's myself, who is occupying a residence without being on the lease, because I trusted my friend who was taking my money periodically to help him. I've already contacted my employer, and the admin there. She is going to print up the checks, and she's going to let me know when they're available at the restaurant, and I will probably hop on my bike and ride 8 blocks there to pick it up, you know, pick them up. So that way I'll have, also when I'm looking for a place, I have proof of income. But also they did this because they wanted to get me out of here. And if I had had those checks with my address on them, that would have shown the police going back 2 months that I've been here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, last night while PDF was live streaming, I chimed in from here again. And this guy's so drunk. Yeah, in the state of Florida, PDF was telling me that there are laws that protect people from this, but also people can use that for, yeah, yep, crows. But they're using this system. Well, they took the paper statements out of the mailbox, so I wouldn't have any proof. So I've been pretty stupid. So I told the guy's father, who's Danish, who came here 3 weeks ago, that I was on to what they were doing. And he got pretty uncomfortable. And I told him, you know, you give me a hard time for being a 57-year-old man who can't find a place to live, but yet you think I'm not smart enough to see what you're doing by sabotaging me receiving mail here so I couldn't prove that I was here? I mean, do you actually think that I can't? And so he's going to get his booster, and he thinks he's going to pump up his suspension on his body when he's just going to make himself sicker. And he's drinking booze, which is just a great combo. Here, have this Budweiser and get your shot. It's good for you. I'm pretty fed up. You know, I've read just about and seen just about everything that I can to not be surprised. Who's watching? Who's watching? In February of 2020, I knew that this was coming. I knew that the reaction to this was going to be an excuse to erode your freedom and your liberty and make you look like a monster and a killer. That's exactly what they want. They want to demonize thinkers. And, you know, they're real good at it. The best tools are at their hands. They have control over everything. You know, and the people that carry it out are going to be citizens. They're going to carry out of fear because government is mind control. They control simply by propaganda and figureheads with degrees and glasses and pointing fingers, wearing sport coats and ties, going, "I'm not guilty, you're guilty, you're a super spreader," all that. I don't need to tell you. Pistachio. I like pistachios. They're actually, I don't like shelling them though, that's a real drag. Now look, I used to shuck oysters and I'm not good at shucking oysters, so if I'm not good at shucking oysters, I'm not good at opening pistachio shells. I'm just kidding. I can do walnuts really well too. Show Me Baby posted a great video last night with lightning and tornado, not tornado footage, but heat lightning in the sky. It was at night. It was about a minute long. It was pretty awesome. Go check out the Show Me Baby. I know he doesn't want to have a lot of subscribers, but you should definitely check him out. Yep. Just that's what happened in Poland, in Germany, in the mid to late 30s. You know, your papers. I mean, people assume that, you know, government's got their back when they enforce its edicts. Well, guess what? The boxcar is going to be just as open for them as it is for myself. And I'm not going in that car. I'm not going in there. There are people that will be like the small minority who may understand that this is a theater and there is still a fighting chance for humanity. But that's waning. It seems to be changing every day. Now, I noticed that there's a quarter-second delay on my live stream. 7 places are looking at this live stream before you see it. 7 entities read your emails before you get it. 7 entities look at your texts before you get them or send them. So any one of those entities watching this video could just say, you know what? We're going to send some guys with rifles to this guy's place and we're going to throw him in a FEMA facility for re-education. Or we're going to throw him in a trash can. These people have been trying to throw me in a trash can. Yesterday was a big scam using law enforcement, guys with guns, to throw me in the trash. This revelation is like being shot between the eyes with a diamond. To paraphrase Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now, it's like yeah. Raven gave me a thumbs up. That's nice of you. I should just disable the rating system on all my videos. But it does me good that people appreciate what I'm sharing, you know. Google is messing with the minds of the planet, not just the United States. Google wants to be government. Government Google, can you let me do my job, earn my living, and have a place to live, and maybe play some music? I promise to not say anything that would disagree with you. Now, I read 1984 when I must have been 13 years old, and after I found this out, and I realized, and I put two and two together, and I was kind of mad at myself for not realizing it yesterday. These cigarettes don't have accelerant in them, so they go out real easily. They're bad for you, but they're not as bad for you as, say, a brand that has accelerant and doesn't go out. At any rate, when I realized that this morning, yeah, I first heard about George Soros in 2011 when I was Occupy. In Washington, D.C., we had two camps. And on K Street at McPherson Square, we had 280 tents. And every day, we would visit Monsanto's headquarters at 14th and K, or 14th and I, Northwest, Washington, D.C. They moved that headquarters out of that building in early 2012 because of us. Mm-hmm. Yep. I know George Soros was connected to Occupy. At face value, your activist mind tells you there's finally people getting together to stand up to something. Now, I didn't have everything in common with everybody there, but as a learning libertarian, I was realizing that there was people that were at least starting to ask questions, like, why is the military-industrial complex just churning up other countries? And why are we killing people, poor people in our country, making them serve and come back destroyed and treating them like garbage? Well, if they're going to treat a veteran like garbage, if they treated my father like garbage, why do I think that they would treat me any better? Especially if I've never put my body and soul into the meat grinder, like my father said. My father did not want me to join the military. My father was a warrant officer. He flew helicopters, and he was not fooled. And he had to learn the hard way by serving in Vietnam for 2 tours, flying a helicopter there, and getting shot down, and coming home and realizing, hey, this is BS. Alien Believer. Check out these people's channels. You can connect with like-minded people. I mean, I encourage that. So yeah, they restricted my access to the mailbox, took out the paper pay stubs. Or they, you know what? I bet you they went to the post office up here and forged a change of address in my name. That's possible. Or they may have blocked my mail here. That even makes the plot even sicker. So Mr. Alcohol has gone to get his booster. I like showing my eyes, but I'm going to put these on anyway. I wore these all day Sunday at work, and they did great. These are Foster Grants. I got some dirt on my finger. Is that you behind those Foster Grants? I should be, right now, I should be hanging with people, I mean, in actual living life, I should be hanging with people who can educate me and I can help them. And this is the nearest best thing. Because I know people that watch my channel, and I do hope sincerely that we have at least enough in common where I can speak freely, you can speak freely, and we can learn from each other. The Michigander. Hey, thanks for watching that cat video. I think that was you. The only thing I'm glad about is that they're not after warm flesh. You know, there is a theoretical science behind zombies. And I've been watching George Romero since 1971. When I was a little kid, I saw Night of the Living Dead, the black and white movie. And that terrified the crap out of me. Because there's nothing worse than a gang of human beings, or former human beings, hungry to eat your arms and your abdomen. You know, they can't get to your brain because it's in a skull. If your skull is broken, they can scoop it out. That whole thing about brains, that was Dan O'Bannon. Dan O'Bannon, the Return of the Living Dead, started more brains. That's not George Romero. I think the canon of zombieism is George Romero and a few other people, filmmakers, and some writers. World War Z, the book is really good, but the movie is horrible. World War Z has some good scenes in it. The scene where he's in North Korea, or when he's in South Korea at the airport, that part of that movie is bad as hell. Because they show the origin of the outbreak inside the base, and they show the room of all these incinerated bodies. And it gives me the creeps when I talk about it, because it really shows the severity of it. You see the physical reaction when they're stuck in traffic and all that, but it really shows the theoretical science about the terror and the force of this kind of thing. Getting back to reality. Take care. So what happened was they hindered my ability to get to the mailbox. And I received paper statements of checks. Okay? They didn't want me to have proof of residence, so the police would get me out of here. So in other words, because I don't have a mailbox key, I just have an apartment key, they were able to make me seem like a freeloading jerk. Look, I don't like washing dishes. I don't like washing dishes. I hate washing dishes, but I always end up washing them. Because I don't like dirt, I don't like filth, I don't like cockroaches. I just wash the dish, just get it out of the way. That's what I look at my job. I'm getting this shit out of the way, and I'm cleaning it. I'm not lazy. I make sure that shit's clean. Share your links, please do. I hope I have my live chat set up so links can be shared. Since there's no Wi-Fi in the apartment, so I can't use my laptop. I got my laptop fixed. Yeah, I got it fixed. It's working great. If I want to edit video, I have to shoot it on this, transfer it to my laptop, edit it, do all the audio and any kind of fades and titles. Then I have to transfer it back on my phone and use my data plan to upload the video off my phone. The last video that I uploaded with music on it, with the photographs, it's like 24 minutes long. I'm sure that was extremely boring. But that I did that on my machine, on my laptop, and transferred it onto my phone and uploaded it off my phone. I don't want to use my phone as a hotspot because that'll just totally, that'll eat up 60 gigabytes in a couple days. So this is tea. This is green kratom tea. My left shoulder blade and my L4, L5, I have disc herniation. Have old injuries.
Fascinating.
All right. Well, Spock just told me that they're there. I got to respond to that. Let's see. Let me respond. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. You know, you have to be diligent with communication. See, 7 people looked at that before she looked at it. 7 people looked at that before I looked at it. As above, so below. I don't want to sound like somebody else but I've been doing my own research for a long time. And just about everything from most sources that I've checked is pretty accurate. But I'm really careful about my sources from where I get my information. You know, the information you can look at on a website, you can always delouse before you read something on a website is consider the source. Consider the writer, consider the advertisers, all of it. Because there's a lot of information out there that just is BS. I'd rather read a book. Okay? But you know what? It's hard. Books are harder now to scrub because what they have to do logistically is they have to get a bunch of firemen or somebody, a team, an information control team in trucks to go to libraries and go and get these books out of the libraries and burn them. They need to either take them to an incinerator and burn them. And logistically, that's very difficult today. But on the internet, all they have to do is shut down the server. And they go into the website, you know, these big 3-letter, 4-letter guys. They go in there and they erase it. That's easy. Books are a pain in the ass to burn because it takes logistics and physical action. But with the internet today, they can just erase. They can erase me. They can erase you. You know, as if you never existed. These people have conspired to, you know, if this wasn't happening, I would be doing something really productive with my time right now. As soon as I get my information, my checks, my stubs, and proof of income, I can look for a place. I tried to do that a couple weeks ago and it skipped my mind. I didn't even think about it because of everything on my plate. But because we live in a instant gratification society, Yeah, this is much worse, in my opinion. Guitar Lounge. I read it in like when I was 12 or 11, and there was no way. I mean, there were certain parts of the book I was reading that have leapt to my mind, and I'm saying, "Whoa, this is so much like what Winston went through." Then, but that's a very specific story of one man's experience in that society. I mean, that woman that he fell in love with. You know, she was great at pretending to be a conformist. She had that sachet on her, the anti, the she was against premarital sex or something like that. But they sneak off to that abandoned building and they make love. You know, I don't know if you remember specifically in the book 1984, but he was in love with a woman, and she looked and acted like she was a perfect zombie for the state. You know, I'd like to find a person like that. I'd like to find a woman that's like that. But there's no way you can meet them. You know why? Because they have to appear as though they are walking lockstep. The parts in that book when he had a look between her and her eyes, it told him that she was not that way. Yep, the awakened. You know how they fall? Is they do what I do. Yeah, it's really hard to do that book justice in a cinema. The movie with John Hurt, he was in the film Alien. He was Brett in Alien, the guy who had the thing burst out of his chest. John Hurt. That is John Hurt, right? Kane. Kane, okay? The character in Alien he played was Kane. The guy who had the face hugger on his face that they brought back to the ship. And, you know, Ash let them in against Ripley's wishes. And the organism was let loose on the ship. And everyone was killed within 20 hours. Except Ripley and the cat. See, I want to be Ripley. I don't want to be a woman. I'm just saying, I want to be in Ripley's shoes. I think everybody can understand and relate to this. If the United States is the Nostromo, and now they've let this thing in, okay? Not saying that the xenomorph is here. I'm saying it's a metaphor. So many movies can educate you about being aware. Yeah, you can also convey truths that you may not pick up the first time you watch a movie. Like the film 2001 or Papillon or Catch-22. There's a lot of visual subtext that you may miss the first time you see it. And some of the best filmmakers layer their films like Stanley Kubrick did. You can watch them over the course of 10 years, watch them 3 or 4 times, and you will see something totally new and get a totally different message, despite the lines being said. And I'm just saying that's really good filmmaking. Stanley Kubrick was... Full Metal Jacket has got a hell of a lot in it that I can't even... It's an extraordinarily beautiful anti-war film. It is a really good... And he said a lot in that movie that you could not say in the cinema, simply with the way he shot stuff and the way he showed the brutality and the attrition of war. It was very, very good. And Platoon is more in your face. Platoon is very... I'm not a veteran, but I am a veteran's son. All I can say is that Platoon is one of those, from a different perspective, it really does show the brutality from a standpoint that people don't get to see otherwise. But yeah, they deliberately prevented my access to having paper proof that I've been here for 2 months. And by tonight or tomorrow, I plan on being in a new place, somewhere within 5 to 6 miles of my work. But based on the way things are going, I don't know if that's going to happen. I've got to go and get these paper documents. I don't want to unpack my guitar stuff. I was smart. I took my stuff out of his van because he's drunk. And I'll tell you, after he gets that shot, he's not going to be all right at all. And anybody within... When he came back wearing the muzzle, I was like, holy cow. Because I had the idea that this guy knew that it was BS. There's no way he could have come here and played the game to get through all the checkpoints to come into this country if he didn't believe it. This is not the kind of thing you can fake. Like the woman in 1984. He was convinced that she was a lockstep fascist, but she wasn't. The movie Equilibrium, if you have not seen it, see it. There's a heck of, and that movie came out in 2002. There's a heck of a lot of foreshadowing about what's happening. That is a very good film. As Christian Bale, he is a cleric who kills people. And he falls... The way they show the way he falls in love with this woman, because it reminds him of his wife, who was killed by a cleric right in front of him. This is a very intense world we're living in. If you haven't seen the clues, I don't know what to tell you, but Equilibrium is strongly recommended. I think it's on Hulu. I don't think it's on Netflix. Holy shit. $4.79. It's about $3.40 in Florida. I wanted to go to LA after high school and go and play rock and roll out there, but I'm kind of glad that, because I stayed in DC, there weren't any guitar players that were playing like me. They were all playing like rockabilly and stuff. They weren't playing like, they weren't learning playing solos or writing. They were just playing like, and I do love, my favorite heavy metal is Judas Priest. That band, as far as 80s metal, yeah, higher fuel taxes. Guitar Lounge, Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance, that album. I listen to it while I work. I use my Bluetooth speaker. And the cooking crew, they're all like, whoa, dude, man. There's a guy who's about my age who's a chef there, and he loves hearing that. Hellion, Electric Eye in the Sky, Feel My Stare, Always There. That is about today. That was a warning. That song is a warning about what we're going through. One of the components of what we're going through. It's the truth. So, no tinfoil hat here. I'm past that. Yeah. KK Downing and Glenn Tipton, man, their guitar style. I mean, and I read an interview with Richard Crosby, who's one of the guitar players in Rammstein, and that was one of the big influences for him in the late 80s and 90s. And there's a lot of Priest in their music, but you don't really have to listen to it. But Rammstein is so precise about the rhythms. It's hard to play their rhythms because they're so gestalt. They're so specific about the rhythm. You can't just play Du hast and just play. You can't. You have to play it exactly the same, or otherwise you're just sort of playing those three chords. So they make it very hard to mimic their music. You know, Rammstein and Judas Priest, they're worlds apart, but they're influenced. I mean, Rammstein was really influenced by a lot of the same people I was. But getting back to the issue here, today is going to be a very big day for me, and I appreciate everybody coming in here and chiming in. I would be remiss in saying thank you for the thumbs up. Guitar Lounge, go check out his channel. The guy plays awesome. You play an SG, right? Or is that an Epiphone SG, or is that a? Because I like your tone. That's really good. That's a nice guitar. Check out Rock and Roll Guitar Lounge. He does great stuff, and he's not a lamb. I don't think anybody in here is a lamb. Be a lamb and go sit there. Okay. Okay, so it's LTD Viper. My guitar looks like it's gonna fall apart. It plays so well, but my guitar looks like it's gonna just crumble in my hands. I need to take it to the shop, and I need to have the neck checked by a plector. I don't know if you know what that is, but the guitar is put in this digital machine that measures the neck and the arcing of it and the bowing of it, and that way they can fix it precisely. But finding a place with a plector is really hard these days. There's a Guitar Center in Orlando. They have a plector. John Petrucci, Steve Vai. Steve Vai has a plector of his own in his house. Steve Vai. I mean, he deserves one. You know, my guitar needs a plector. If it weren't for music, I would not be alive. Music has saved my life, and having the creative outlet to make music means everything to me. And I hope it does to you. I hope everything is good on your end as far as considering the way things are. You're not alone, and I'm glad to know that I'm not alone. Don't supplicate. Don't, as fearful as you may be, I'm not going to do it. Not at this juncture, as Herbert Bush said. Not going to do it. Not going to do it at this juncture. All right, I'm going to close this out. I'm going to leave it up. Yeah. I'm real lucky that the owners of my where I work, none of them are complying. They're not going to make their employees comply. This barrier island I'm on that's why I'm staying here. I'm gonna do wouldn't be prudent, not at this juncture. No, I'm not gonna do it. Now, what's his name on Saturday Night Live? The guy who did Bob Dole, he died a couple months ago. He used to do Bob Dole holding the pen in his hand. You know why Bob Dole held a pen? Because he had palsy. So if he held a pen, it would somehow give him the ability to Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald did a Bob Dole that was just incredible. Rest in peace, Norm. We love you. You were great. I watched Jim Florentine's stand-up thing. Jim Florentine is, if you look him up, Jim Florentine, he did these phone calls, these prank phone calls that are just legendary. His stand-up was pretty funny, but it didn't hold me. I was just like, okay, I'll give you a thumbs up and move on. But he's got his own channel. You know, he did, I think he premiered his stand-up yesterday. It was pretty funny. I mean, it wasn't like Sam Kinison or Lenny Bruce or George Carlin or Richard Pryor, but I mean, he's got his own style, and having your own comedic stylings is really good. You know, don't ride the coattails of others. And Dennis Leary got accused of using, yeah, I know. That's right. You serious? 33. That's awesome. Dude, you are an example. You should make a video about that, although you probably will get taken down for community violations. That's the funny part about YouTube. If you find facts and you post them that are against the narrative, bye-bye. Just like this stream might get taken down by some trusted referee somewhere. Any one of those 10,000 YouTube accounts that don't post content, that just hunt for stuff to take down and get their little paycheck from Google. You see, those are the brown shirts online on YouTube. 2016, YouTube hired, that is 10,000 accounts. They wanted to hire 10,000 brown shirts to hunt. Oh, they've hit me hard. They've age restricted and taken down. They took down a video by David Ray Griffin. He posted a film. He made a film called 9/11 Miracles, and it addresses all the bullet points of the commission report and shows how they're fairy tales. And they took it down because it was hate speech against a group of people. It was hate speech against authority. That's the funniest thing. For them to take, I mean, if you really watch the film, I don't think it's on YouTube anymore. It's called 9/11 Miracles by David Ray Griffin. If you look that up, you could, the guy is a scholar. He was a teacher at Harvard. Yep, 33. Gas station up here, gas was $3.33 for like a week, and I had the inkling to take a picture of it, but I didn't. Now I think it's $3.31, or it went up to $3.35. If it's $3.33 today, I will take a picture of it and put it on my community tab. Always check somebody's community tab. You see, YouTube removed messaging. Back about 4 or 5 years ago, you used to be able to message. You'd go to someone's channel description and go to someone's channel description, and you could message them privately. They don't have that anymore. So I will try to reach out to people if they have a community page and they've posted. I will try to reach them that way. Leaving a comment on one of their videos doesn't always work, but other than that, you have to post a video and say, hey, so-and-so, I'm trying to reach you, you know. I've got to go. I'm really thankful for everybody watching. I'm hoping for the best, but this whole thing with the guy's father, you know, now being my phone. If you see my phone, that's right, Gary. Oh, crap, what was I going to say? I'll remember later. But I've run out of gas on this one. Everybody be careful. Oh, actually, no. I don't want to propose any fearful attitude. Be bright, be strong. If you see a tin-plated weasel, don't talk to them. Yeah, him having the wiggle, so to speak, throws a wrench into things. Like, he doesn't want me to ride in his van now, so he drove to Rockledge to get his booster or get his thing. And why don't people realize that when they get the shot and they get sick, that something's wrong? I am astounded at the amount of stupidity. It's like a bucket of crabs, okay? You ever notice that? When crabs are trying to get out, they will step on their other crabs and they'll slide down themselves. This is exactly what it is. We are a bucket of crabs. I'm not saying that anybody is bad or anything. I'm just saying it's a metaphor. Don't be in that bucket of crabs. My glasses don't work unless you wear yours too. Channels I suggest. Anybody who's in here, please check out their channels. The Show Me Baby. Go check out his channel. The Show M-E, then B-B-Y. The more you know, the more intelligent you are. But it's not an issue of arrogance. It's an issue of your rights, your love of your country, and your fellow human beings. Don't supplicate your rights for convenience or immediate gratification, because anything worth doing is not easy. Be blessed.